Hello and welcome everyone. In today's video, we're going to learn different ways to create dataset in LangSmith. First, let's understand what is LangSmith dataset. A dataset is a collection of examples, which are nothing more than input-output pairs you can use as test cases to your application. Using the dataset, you can evaluate your application on different metrics like correctness, relevant, harmfulness, and many more. In today's video, we will learn how can we create dataset from list of values, from the traces of your LangSmith project, and from a CSV file. Let's get started. First, we will create the virtual environment with follow this command. Our virtual environment has been created. Now we will activate our virtual environment using name of the virtual environment, /scripts/activate command. After activate the virtual environment, we will create the requirements txt file to write down the required libraries. Now run this command to install all the required libraries. All the required libraries has been installed. Now to create datasets in LangSmith, we need LangChain API key. To get the LangChain API key, open your browser, type LangSmith, click on first link. Now click on sign up and login. Now click on settings and click on create API key. Your LangChain API key has been created. Now copy it. Create a .env file. .env file is used to store the sensitive information and ensure the sensitive information stays safe. Now paste your LangChain API key in the .env file. Let's create a new file to write the code. First, we will create the dataset from list of values. Let's import the necessary libraries. The client class from LangSmith allows us to interact with the LangSmith API. We also import OS and .env to manage environment variables. From LangSmith import client, import OS .env. Now use .env, load_.env, to load environment variables from a .env file into our script. .env load_.env. Next, we will set the LangChain API key from environment variable and enable tracing by setting LangChain tracing v2 to true. OS environ LangChain API key equals OS .env LangChain API key. OS environ LangChain tracing v2 equals true. Now, we will define a list of example questions and answers about animals. Each item in the list is a tuple containing a question and its corresponding answer. Example _inputs equals: what is the largest mammal? The blue whale. What do mammals and birds have in common? They are both warm-blooded. What are reptiles known for? Having scales. What's the main characteristic of amphibians? They live both in water and on land. Next, we will create an instance of the client class, which we'll use to interact with the LangSmith. Client equals client. Let s define the name of our dataset. Dataset_name equals elementary animal questions. Next, we will create the dataset by calling create_dataset on our client instance. We also provide a description for the dataset. Dataset equals client. Create_dataset. Dataset_name equals dataset_name. Description equals questions and answers about animal phylogenetics. Finally, we will loop through our example inputs and upload each one to the dataset. For each example, we specify the question, answer, metadata, and dataset ID. For input_prompt, output_answer in example_inputs. Client.create_example. Inputs equals question, input_prompt. Outputs equals answer, output_answer. Metadata equals source, Wikipedia. Dataset_ID equals dataset.id. And we finish off with a print statement to confirm that the dataset has been uploaded successfully. Print. Dataset uploaded successfully. Run the file. You can see the result: dataset uploaded successfully. Now go to the LangSmith. Click on Datasets and Testing. Here you can see the dataset which we just created. Click on the dataset. Here you will find the input and output. Now we will create the dataset from traces of the LangSmith project. First, comment the create dataset from list of values part. First, we create an instance of the client class. This instance will allow us to interact with the LangSmith. Client equals client. Next, we define the name of our dataset. We'll call it example dataset from traces. Dataset underscore name equals example dataset from traces. Now, we will filter the runs we want to add to our dataset. We call the list underscore runs method on our client instance and specify a few parameters. Runs equals client, list underscore runs. Project underscore name equals evaluators. Is underscore root equals true. Error equals false. We filter runs from the evaluators project, ensure they are root runs, and only include runs that completed without errors. I already have one LangSmith project. Here you can see the traces of my evaluators project. Instead of creating the dataset from traces programmatically, we can create the dataset from LangSmith itself. We need to select all the traces, then click on Add to Dataset. Here you find the already created dataset. You can add the traces in already created dataset, or you can create a new dataset. But we will see how can we create dataset programmatically. Now, with our runs filtered, we will create our dataset by calling create underscore dataset on our client instance. We give it a name and a description. Dataset equals client. Create underscore dataset. Dataset underscore name. Description equals an example dataset. Finally, we loop through our filtered runs and upload each one to the dataset. For each run, we specify the inputs, outputs, and the dataset ID. For run in runs, client.create underscore example. Inputs equals run.inputs. Outputs equals run.outputs. Dataset underscore ID equals dataset.id. And that's it. We've successfully created a dataset from traces using the LangSmith. Finally, we print a confirmation message to indicate that the dataset has been uploaded successfully. Print. Dataset uploaded successfully. Now run the file. You can see the result dataset uploaded successfully. Now go to the LangSmith. Click on Datasets and Testing. Here you can see the dataset which we just created from traces. Click on the dataset. Here you will find the input and output. At last, we will create the dataset from a CSV file. For that, we need a CSV file. I already have month.csv file. In this CSV file, there are two column name column which specify the name of the month and abbreviation column which specify the short form of the month. So, first I will move the CSV file in the project directory. Now, comment the create dataset from traces part. Let's create an instance of the client class. This instance will allow us to interact with the LangSmith. Client equals client. Next, we specify the CSV file we want to upload and define the input and output keys. These keys correspond to the column names in the CSV file. CSV underscore file equals month.csv. Input underscore keys equals name. Output underscore keys equals abbreviation. In our example, the CSV file is named month.csv. The name column will be used as the input, and the abbreviation column will be used as the output. Now, we will call the upload underscore CSV method on our client instance to upload the CSV file and create the dataset. We provide the path to the CSV file, the input and output keys, a name for the dataset, a description, and specify the data type as key value pairs. Dataset equals client. Upload underscore CSV. CSV underscore file equals CSV underscore file. Input underscore keys equals input underscore keys. Output underscore keys equals output underscore keys. Name equals my CSV dataset. Description equals dataset created from a CSV file. Data underscore type equals KV. Finally, we print a confirmation message to indicate that the dataset has been uploaded successfully. Print. Dataset uploaded successfully. Now run the file. You can see the result dataset uploaded successfully. Now go to the LangSmith. Click on Datasets and Testing. Here you can see the dataset which we just created from CSV file. Click on the dataset. Here you will find the input and output. In input, we have the name of the month, and in output, we have the short form of the month. And that's it. We've successfully uploaded our CSV file and created a dataset using the LangSmith. In today's video, we explored different ways to create dataset in LangSmith. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.